Hello.
Good morning, Dr. Baburaj, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Fine, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
You just started. So Dr.
Oh,
Mahesh also will join.
okay, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. Voice is clear, no, sir? My voice is clear,
Yeah.
no, sir. Oh, okay. So, how many participants are attending?
No, they are just joining.
Okay. Totally, how many people are there? Last
100 people are subscribed.
How many?
Subscribed for 100.
100. Okay.
100, yeah. Through Zoom,
Okay.
100. Remaining they can join
Okay.
through Facebook also.
Okay. Doctors are there, or how is the composition of
It's a
the?
mixed thing like veterinarians and
Okay.
entrepreneurs, those who are interested in starting the business.
Actually, last before I sent all the emails. Last time I think I have not sent the email. Actually, some participants asked the presentation.
Okay.
Actually, there are some mistakes. I need to convert it. Actually, that errors. I have not changed it to PDF. If today's request along with that, the old one also I'll try to send it. Actually, I think if anybody asks today, I will combine it and send. I think that is pending. I believe actually.
Good morning, Baburaj.
Sir, good morning, sir.
How is everything?
Fine, sir. Everything fine, sir.
So now this has become a routine for us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you traveling or?
I started, sir. Already nearby, I'm going. Actually, 1 or 2 little distance, and this week to next week, I have 2 or 3 travels, sir. Actually,
Okay.
so we are already our team and all moving now fully. Only
Okay.
the stay I'm avoiding. Morning I'm going there and coming back in the night maximum, so without stay. But flight travel we are making, sir, already.
Good.
So,
We have supplies. That is the issue.
yes, sir. It's critical only. I think once a vaccine comes, I think there will be some relief. So we are expecting any time.
The vaccine will definitely come very soon.
Yes, sir.
So probably it may take some time.
Yes,
So, how is everybody at office?
yes, sir. Fine, sir. All are doing well. Industry is also last few months good, sir. Actually, in fact, we are in the plus, sir, now on the growth side also. Because the last first 2 months of the first quarter was very pathetic. Actually, April, May. But we were a little alarmed actually. But June, July, then now the things are last. I could see that most of them are in the growth now. All the zones what we are handling now is all in the growth now. It's a surprising trend. No industry can make a turn round like this actually.
So fast.
It's so fast actually.
Action was more.
Yes, sir.
Action was more.
Yes, sir.
So that's how it is. I think we contracted too much. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
why we could export very fast. It is like spring effect.
Yes, sir.
The compression was 100% almost in the month of January and February.
Yes.
So now people are relaxing and then the demand has come.
Yes.
See, the good part of the story, what I understand is people are wanting now chicken and egg.
Yes, sir.
So that's how it is.
Yes, and winter is also setting now. I think that is also going to help definitely.
Yeah.
And more of people are adjusting to the online modes. You know what I could see that a lot of online suppliers are gaining a lot of momentum. I think that whether it's a food industry or ours, I think that they created a big, actually, what you can say, impression now.
Yeah.
So these players are now growing very fast, I believe. Actually.
Yeah.
And the demand for the acceptance of this process meat is going up now. Yes,
Yeah.
initially everybody faced it because actually whatever they produce they could not sell in the first few months. Whatever they processed in the January, February, there was a huge backlog stock session actually. I think in
Okay.
Pune right now actually. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Good
he's
to see.
traveling like I think above all he's the one who traveled most actually. His age and all.
Yeah, that is very
Yes,
surprising,
everything
what
is
is
around.
So everything fine. Basha ji? Basha ji?
Sir, Facebook a big little trouble, sir.
Facebook का आज भी trouble हो रहा है?
Not live on Facebook.
Okay. You just check what is the issue every day. कुछ हो रहा है ना? Some problem, Basha?
No, sir, just 2 minutes, sir. It will be.
It's no problem. वो ऐसे small
It's
hiccups रहता है.
slow चल रहा है, but आ जाएगा. Just 2 minutes.
Okay. Net आज slow है?
नेट नहीं सर, वो फेसबुक ओपन होने में थोड़ा स्लो हो रहा है.
Slow हो रहा है.
ऑलमोस्ट देयर.
जल्दी शुरू कर देंगे. कल सुबह ही शुरू कर देंगे so that will be.
कल थोड़ा देर.
You can play that intermediate advertisement.
Yes.
हमारा advertisement और इस thing डालने से ठीक हो जाए. Good morning, Ganesh Nayak. We are taking a couple of minutes to set up. Dr. Baburaj is also on live. We will just start in another minutes.
Yes, sir, we are live on Facebook. You can start.
We can start, Basha.
Yes, sir.
Start कर दीजिए. Baburaj is also live, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Dr. Baburaj, how is the disease status in chickens now? Not much,
much, sir. Actually, can say that it's a good period now. Except there are few issues are there in few parts actually, like in Andhra and all there, and they are finding a little bit of mortalities, but I don't think other areas everything is fine. You know, most of the areas in south or north, all the area they are doing very well. Actually, yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Basha, start कर दीजिए.
Yes, sir. Good morning, all. We welcome for this third day of this awareness week on entrepreneurship training. Today we have with us Dr. Baburaj, who is the first speaker of this today's session. I welcome for this today's program Dr. P.S. Maher sir, Joint Commissioner and Director of CPDO&TI. And also I welcome Dr. Baburaj, General Manager from Venki's Group for this session. He will be dealing on diseases, aspects of poultry. And after this joined by Dr. Lipi Sairiwal from Delhi. She will be dealing on the government schemes on poultry. And also I welcome all the participants for this program who are joining through Zoom and also through Facebook. So welcome all. So I request Dr. Mahesh sir to give opening remarks.
Thank you, Bashaji. You are so good to us. We have one team member where consistently you are supporting us. So, dear participants, welcome again. I think we had 2 days of very nice events. First day we started with the inauguration from Shukla sir, then followed by myself giving an overview, and then overview of entire pictorial journey by Dr. Krishnan. And then yesterday we had a very good session by Dr. Sonali Nanda, who presented on entire aspects of management, and then followed by Dr. B.S.V. Reddy, who elaborately elucidated very nicely the salient features of poultry nutrition. So today we have with us Dr. Baburaj, eminent disease specialist, working in the Venkis last couple of decades. In fact, we are good friends. We started together in Venkis earlier. So that's how we leverage their time and this thing. So he's a very well-known expert on diseases. Today we have requested him to cover common poultry diseases, common vaccinations, and then common biosecurity measures which we use in the poultry, and finally the medications. So medications has to be under the veterinarian's advice. However, you can have certain medications known. What are the common medications which we are using in poultry? So with this background, I welcome my good friend Dr. Baburaj for the session to deal with diseases, medication, vaccination, etc. All over to Baburaj.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks for introduction, sir. I'll share the screen right now, sir.
Right.
Sir. Yeah. So
Yes.
screen is okay, no, sir? You can see the screen. Yes. Sir, thank you for this wonderful opportunity, sir. This is a third webinar in the series I could present on behalf of VH also. And thank you for this wonderful opportunity, sir, once again. So I introduce myself. I'm Dr. Baburaj. I work with Ventry Biologicals, Venkis India Limited and BV Bakar Private Limited as a Deputy General Manager. I'm looking after the southern India for both the technical and marketing. For all these three division, I'm associated with VH Group for the last 22 years. And I share my presentation today. That is the common medication in poultry. I cover all the aspects as Mahesh sir has briefed here. So I'll try to stretch my presentation across in several commonly observed things. Actually, I'm not going in deep on everything. Just I want to share what is happening there. So I'll get a broad outline. Then one can, from this framework, we can develop yourself on the medication part actually, and understanding the disease aspects. So today's broiler is reaching 2 kg body weight in 34 to 35 days with a FCR of 1.5, 1.6. In pellet feed, it is much lesser than 1.5, and mash feed 1.6, 1.65 is possible. So when I joined in 98 with this organization, it was around 42 days plus where we get 2 kg. Now it was reduced to 37, then now it's 35. And the same way the commercial layers today in 72 weeks period, 330 eggs and to 342 also. But if you see that, once again, I want to say that when I joined in 98, the manual says up to 72 weeks. Now the minimum average culling age is around 82 to 83. So the egg production is above 374. Can say that people are getting 385 plus eggs now in these cycles. So the laying cycle of the bird has tremendously increased, and productivity, as you know, that has increased. These are all happening because of the genetics, basically how the selection, how the genetics are working. And this is not only in the commercials, this is happening in all across the sectors. Even the government is also bringing some of the suitable birds for the small farmers, or we can say that the domestic birds have been genetically improved upon. Their selection is going on. So these are all for the betterment of the farmers, that a lot of companies are involving themselves uplifting their economic situation actually. So these are all some of the common diseases of poultry. It's just I want to briefly outline. The bacterial diseases are colibacillosis, CRD, fowl typhoid, necrotic enteritis, infectious coryza, fowl cholera. I just said there are still number of diseases caused by the bacterial infections. And the viral diseases, just I am outlining only few. Ranicate disease, IBD, IB, fowl pox, Marek's disease, chicken infectious anemia, infectious laryngotracheitis, inclusion body hepatitis, etc. And protozoal and parasitic diseases include coccidiosis, worm infestation, and other ectoparasitic infestations. And fungal, this includes Broda pneumonia and the one caused by the mycotoxins. That's actually due to the fungus contaminating the grains basically and the production of the toxins. And nutritional metabolic diseases include deficiencies, gout, ascites, and fatty liver syndrome, cage layer fatigue, etc. And management includes heat stroke, dehydration, ammonia toxicity, etc. So these situations will lead to either the growth depressions or mortality or other challenges to the bird. But these are all one which are commonly encountered. I'm not going very rare incidents or specific cases, and I'm broadly outlining these are all the diseases. So how to approach a disease control? Actually, initially when we thought of this making this presentation, we were trying to focus only on the medication part. Mahesh sir has specifically insisted to cover the biosecurity aspect because this is quite vital, and followed by vaccination. Then we can order like that. So I have revised my presentation accordingly to the this one so that we can cover. The reason being that the diseases, if you take the medication part to the biosecurity part, the biosecurity we may be spending, for example, 1 rupee means in the medication we may end up in 5 to 10 rupees. So the best thing is prevention of the disease rather than going for the treatment and subsequent inquiring or investing on the medicines or losses we are encountering. So this is the best part. So that's a reason this framework has been suggested by Mahesh sir here. So accordingly, I will go through one by one aspects so that you can also understand what is happening. Just I am highlighting few things here. So this is approach. If we see that none of the disease is approached only by medications, there are different ways. For example, virus, we like ND, IBD, IB, it is mostly controlled by biosecurity and vaccination. And whenever there is a problem, we go for supportive medications. So all the viral diseases, mostly it's all only supportive medication, but the biosecurity and vaccination play a very important role. And whereas in the bacterial infections, of course, there is a vaccination, but medication also, whenever there is a disease occurrence, medication is required. Same with the case of protozoal diseases, medication. Of course, the vaccinations are very expensive. Right now, the commercials cannot afford, only the parents and other side only they are affording now. And in case of nutrition and metabolic, again, there is supportive medication like gout or ascites toxicity. We rely more on the medication part, and as well as the correction of the few managemental aspects and the feed also. And in the managemental aspect like stress debriefing, we go for a supportive medication. So coming to the biosecurity, I share few slides. So I'm not going in deep into the biosecurity because the biosecurity has several things like structural, operational biosecurity. So there are different angle the biosecurity focus. I just outline the biosecurity here with a simple few slides, and then we'll go to the next part actually. So the biosecurity starts with if the once the shed is empty, we need to remove the litter, and disinfection spray need to be done, fumigation has to be done, and pipeline cleaning is also very important because there will be a slime layer forming, and this will harbor a lot of bacteria, and so this all to be cleaned. And in the continuous disinfection, it is a water sanitation, spray on the birds, and the litter management is important, like oxy and all, it requires proper litter management, and water bath at entry. Whenever somebody is entering the farm, the foot need to be cleaned, and then only, or the slippers, whatever is, it has to be disinfected, then only one has to enter the farm. And then the disposal, like dead bird disposal, is very important to avoid the spread of the diseases. Incineration, and dogs and cats, wild birds control, these are all very important in the disease. This is just I'm giving a outline on this. So this is how the litter is removed when the flock is culled. So we have to spray 10% formalin over the litter before taking out, and then the litter has to be removed. And the vehicle which comes, once we load the litter, it has to be covered with the plastic cover so that the litter should not spill on the roads or nearby area. It should not contaminate. It should be properly disposed of, and it should be away from the farm. It should not be stored near it actually. So once it is over, we have to wash the shed with a high pressure washing. A lot of machines have now come, and it is better even with the force of the tank water. We can go for the pressure washing here, and then in case of regular farms, you can go for washing soda 40 gram per liter. There are some advanced cleaners are available, which can also be used for this instead of washing soda. Or for IBD farm, we recommend to go for caustic soda whenever IBD outbreaks is there, because this virus will be killed only in alkaline environment. And there are the choices also varies. For example, if there is an outbreak of chicken anemia, for example, we always insist to go for acid cleaning basically, because this virus, chicken anemia virus, is susceptible for the acidic environment. So the choice also varies depending on this disease. So the veterinarian who is visiting can give appropriate advice in such situations actually. So caustic soda at 1.1 kg in 55 liters of water for 1000 SFT can be soaked for 4 hours and washed. And burning the shed is also, that is particularly the floors is very important, particularly when there is an outbreak of IBD and MD. It's a very, very important step. So this is again spraying a suitable disinfectant. Here you can see that a person is spraying across through a spray. We can use a sprayer like this equipment. This costs around 14,000-15,000. The shed is long. It's worth investing actually. So what we generally suggest is a common rule is 1 liter of disinfectant water. For example, the disinfectant dose is 4 ml per liter. For example, so 1 liter it can be sprayed for 25 SFT carpet area. Means the person will stand in front, take that and take a one round turn like this, so that the shed entire pot will be covered. So approximately 1 liter water for the 25 SFT carpet area will be covered. Then you will go to the next step, make a rotation. Third step, like that, the entire shed inside will be drenched with the help of the disinfectant actually. Again, the disinfectant choice also varies, as I mentioned. So we can go for a suitable disinfectant depending on the disease challenge. ND, it requires more of BKC like products. For IBD or that phenolic products will be very helpful. Like that, the choice of disinfectant varies according to the situation here. So this is how the shed is prepared. So once it's disinfected, we can put the rice husk or any appropriate bedding material, litter material which is available there. And in the sides shall be whitewashed with 10 kg lime powder with 3 kg bleaching powder, 2 liter of formalin, and 500 ml of kerosene also. Once this process is over, one can do this painting also if it is required. So once a litter material is kept inside, we have to cover it with a curtain, and we go for the fumigation process. So the fumigation is, I can say, it's a older trend, because see, if you see, we can use a bleaching powder or formalin. It releases a formaldehyde gas basically. So the dose is 2.6 kg potassium permanganate or bleaching powder with 5.2 liter of formalin. So we need to arrange pots accordingly, and the gas will be released. But the only thing is, being a gas, it has a very limited binding capacity. One may think that the smell of formalin is so good, so we assume that the disinfection has been done properly, but it may not be true. So we are moving out of traditional fumigation system now. We are going to the next way of disinfecting the set, that is called the thermal fogging. One can notice here that the machine is used. Here we are mixing a 2 liters of disinfectant with 5 liters of water, and it's 3 liters of water, and it can be used for total is 5 liters actually, and this can be sprayed for 10,000 SFT. So the thing is, the difference between the this one thermal fogging and the this one actually the fumigation is, here this will release a fog basically. The fog is, suppose you are traveling in a car in a cool environment, it's raining. You may see a fog in your in front of the windshield. Actually, you will even wipe it out. A small like that, this will release a fog. The disinfectant is basically released in the form of fog, so it will bind everywhere. So what happens due to the binding action? Each and every nook and corner is properly disinfected. These machines are, even if you see today, the most of the integrators in the broiler operations are using this. They carry the machine so to the farm and it is used. You may think that it is just supplied by municipal people are using actually. That is a different concept. It releases gas basically. They use a parathene with kerosene. Here it is a disinfectant with water, so it releases fog. There is a basic difference here. So this can be implemented at the field level. Already we are doing for the last 15 years like this actually. So coming to the continuous disinfection process, the next is the water sanitization. It's a very, very important step to control the E. coli or other bacterial waterborne infections. So there are different sanitizers. One should not randomly buy the sanitizers and use. This is our sincere suggestion. One need to understand what purpose we are using and what quality of water you are using actually. So the first one is you can see the benzalkonium chloride, BKC. The dose is 1 ml per 10 liters, very cheaper. But if you see that beyond 500 ppm, 400 ppm hardness, it will not work. Its action will reduce actually, and even though it's a very good long-acting product. And the second is very suitable one is a chlorine dioxide, which is recently earlier it was a little risky to use chlorine dioxide because it's the process involves it is a little explosive basically. But the thing is now people are stabilized scientifically. Now we are producing and we have done the products have been properly stabilized. Products are coming. It is very, very safe to use. And the thing is, it's a very, very suitable all-purpose product. It can be used at 0.2 to 0.5 ppm. Slightly expensive, but still a very, very reliable product under all circumstances. And third is quaternary ammonium compounds, 1 ml per 10 liter. It is also a long-acting product. Only thing is you can rotate it regularly. And the iodine-based product is very good actually, but in the presence of organic matter, its action will get reduced. But particularly in the viral diseases like IBD, IBH, it is the most appropriate sanitizer for choice. And the potassium monopersulfate, this is a little expensive. This is used only for the disinfection purpose or on-bird spray. But when the situation comes like severe infection due to bacteria, mainly viruses like AND or IBD, one can go up to 1 gram per 10 liter to 1 gram per liter also for 2-3 days. Then we can reduce the dose. So this is to reduce the viral load in the farm. And as it's only, this is another concept. I will talk in the later part about antibiotic free rearing. This is also one of the parts where the people go only for acids at 0.5 to 1 ml, depending on the dose, to reduce the dose of the pH of the water to 5.5, max 6. So to control E. coli and Salmonella. So this is the next part is about the pipeline and drinker cleaning. You can see here the left side of the picture here. The totally the is covered with the slime and salts. This harbors a lot of bacteria, and one can see inside the pipeline also. You can see the slime layers. So this is one can open it and see, and there are nowadays equipments are there also. Like a Tesla endoscope where you can put it inside the pipeline and can see that how the slime is accumulated, and we can use suitable products. Basically, acid-based disinfectants are there, acid plus disinfectant combination. So we can flush out we can put it at a proper dose, say 50 ml per liter. Some products are available. We can keep it in the overnight and flush it out. And then again, once again with the water, we can flush out. So all the inside slime layer will come out. This will reduce the intermittent episodes of bacterial infections actually. And this is a continuous disinfection program. So one can spray on bird weekly twice like this. You can see in the left hand picture, a person is holding. He can spray, but the spray should not be directly on the bird. It should be towards the top, so the spray will settle on the birds. And there are some safe disinfectants available. Not all disinfectants can be sprayed like this. There are some safe products. It should not fall on the feed or something. There are restrictions, but some are like BKC based products. It's all safe actually. And one can use a food path like this. So they can put it every day. It has to be replenished with a new disinfectant with the water. It should not be dirty. You can see that left side again, the tank, very clean tank. and spray on the vehicle, depending on the farm size or whatever possible, and washing of the hands. Today there's a period of COVID, and see the washing of the hands is very, very this one. But these practices are there for a long time in the poultry industry, and we always insist that these are all the first step for the control. And as I mentioned, keeping a whole litter is a crime. So the probably it may harbor the old resistant bacteria we might have treated with antibiotics. The same resistant microbes will be there. It may spread to the farm again. And again, the dogs, they carry the ND virus also. So it is some people have the habit of feeding the dogs with dead birds. This practices should be curtailed. There are other steps like even we should not leave the vaccine vials, vehicles should not enter like that. So there are a number of biosecurity steps which are where you like shed egg trace cleaning is important. There are number of steps are there in the biosecurity. Whatever harbor the bacteria or virus and enter, we need to control it. So that's a primary point here. So we can minimize the loss in the farms. So that's a first foremost goal. Instead of first relying on the medication or vaccination, this is the first foremost step. We always insist our farmers to follow it. And this is a dead bird disposal. One can arrange a pit like this, and we can keep on till it's totally filled, and we can close it. In a small farm, this is appropriate actually. Large farm can install the incinerators also. So I will move to the next part, that is the vaccination. So I covered a comprehensively a little bit of, you will get some idea about biosecurity. And this is about the vaccination. So this is a common vaccine schedule. Because area to area the vaccine schedule changes. So you need to consult your competent veterinarian there who will guide you accordingly, because he knows the disease challenges. So it is not this is not a random, or you cannot just like that attempt it. Okay. So the day-old indicate 0.1 ml in the broiler is particularly these are all fast growing birds. And summer it's very, very important. Generally people start vaccinating in January to June, then they will stop. Summer they do continuously during entire year indicate vaccination. Wherever IBH challenge is there nowadays, we are witnessing more of adeno problems. So IBH is also used. And fifth day NDB1 or Lasota, and 12th day IBD plus, and followed by Lesotho on the 18th day. So this is a broad schedule. You may see some schedule changes here and there. So as I mentioned, you need to consult the local veterinarian there. And this is an intraocular method. Generally for ND live or this IBD, we go for the eye drop method. We have to hold the chick, put a drop on the eye. The eye should not be, the eyelid should not be in a closed position. Once we need to properly hold the chick. And the appropriate speed is very important. 600 to 800 chicks per hour. If somebody says I completed 1000 chicks or 1200 chicks, I think they are not vaccinated properly. And the second foremost important steps, most of the complaints what we receive whenever there is an IBD issues and all. See, if anybody drops the chick after vaccinating. So you can see here this live photo. That's why the picture looks like this. It's when we are visiting a farm, the vaccinator sitting on a chair and throwing the chick after the drop vaccination. See what happens when you keep a paper and see that the vaccine drops are only in the paper, because by the due to the fall, probably the eye drop that particularly the drop will come out. So it's very important. You can make certain correction procedures like keeping a small tray or something. So let him leave the chicks on so that it's fit falls correct. Means you keep it on the floor directly rather than dropping it, so that it has a time for absorption of the vaccine properly. So we need to control. So by this way, we can control several diseases. People say that we are vaccinated, still have the problem. Means the mistakes do happen. And again, the vaccines are expensive. See, for example, IBD1 may spend 30 paisa, 40 paisa. ND means 5 to 10 paisa per dose. So it's all expensive. So one need to properly administer the vaccine. And when you come to the commercial layers, the vaccine schedule is quite a lengthy, because we are keeping the birds for a quite long time. And depending on disease challenge, you can see the Marex is done first, and then followed by IB vaccine, B1, ND IBD killed, or even triple killed like ND IBD IB killed. and then IBD plus, followed by 22nd day IBD plus, then IB plus Lasota, pigeon pox, and then coryza killed, deworming, Lasota, cowpox, R2B, then IB, coryza killed, NDAB killed, and ND killed. See, if you see that the schedule is not again a thumb rule here, it varies. Some area, see for example in coastal Andhra, the problems of foul cholera is more because of rice fields, rats are more, so the people incorporate foul cholera there and there. And some area they don't have much of coryza challenges, so they do not use coryza. So it depends on that. As I mentioned, ND fifth, if you say sixth day ND IBD killed. Some may not have the IBD problem. They will stick on only to the ND killed program. So it all depends. Again, I am telling you, the schedule depends on the how the area is, the locality of the area, and the diseases witnessed by the veterinarian, and he will forecast also sometimes. As this is summer, we need to strengthen our ND program, or particularly in the when there is a monsoon onset, sometimes IBD will suddenly flare up. So he will understand that with this experience, and he will guide the proper program. So I don't say you follow this program. It is only just giving a guidelines, and it varies according to the area basically. So coming to the vaccination part, I have covered now. The third part is the medications. There are, just I'll give a glimpse. It is given through water, like vitamins, antibiotics, calcium and mineral supplements. It will be given through the feed also, like vitamins, antibacterials, toxin binders, enzymes, acidifiers, essential oils, probiotics, etc. And can be given in the form of injection in poultry, like gentamicin, oxytetracycline, amikacin, and spray also, like probiotics and respiratory stimulants. I once again insist that I am going to give a broad guideline here. Some of the category here are Schedule H drugs. It needs a prescription. I don't generally suggest to adapt to some of the suggestions here blindly. You need to check with once again with the local veterinarian there, and take a prescription and buy this product, whichever is required. Okay. So I'm giving a very quite broader outline in the course of presentation. So the reason we give the medication for treatment as a supportive, like for transportation, debaking, shifting, handling, etc. And growth promotion also, we give some medications, and for the disease prevention, and for the immunomodulation, because if you see the vaccine schedule, we are using a lot of this number of vaccines or more. Immunity plays a very important role. Like in corona period, if you see that today, we have been asked to take lot of ad. Every ad, out of 5 ads, 2 ads are talking about immune boosters. So this immunomodulation is quite important here. Improve the feed quality, and other social issues also play a role in medications actually. Like for example, fly control. We need to go for certain medication in the feed, like Sairiwal, to control the flies. So the list of water supplements, we have vitamins, antibiotics, anticoccidials, dewormers, calcium mineral supplements, liver tonics, gout relieving agents, and then immunomodulators, electrolytes, and probiotics, organic acids, hematinics, growth promoters, and others. This is almost an updated one. Anybody, if you see the coming or freshers, anybody, veterinarians or any new who have completed the course, can get a relatively an update on this. That these are all some of the medications, water supplements used in poultry. And in case for the category wise, if you see vitamins, it is ADEC. We use a vitamin B complex in water, vitamin K, and biotin. Antibiotics like enterofloxacin, ciprofloxacin, all the quinoline groups, amoxicillin, doxylin, then doxycycline, neomycin, tetracycline, and sulfloxacin. And coming to antimycoplasma like drugs like tylosin, tiamulin, and tilvalocin, and erythromycin. And in case of anticoccidials, amprolium, sulfaquinolaxolin, diaveridin, and toltraceril. And deworm like piperazine, levamisole, mebendazole, albendazole are used. And calcium mineral supplements, it contains basically calcium phosphorus with vitamin D3 and B12. And liver tonics, it may be liver extract based or herbal based, along with the choline, tricholine, manganese, etc. Can be these are all few things that are used here. And the gout drilling agents, they contain sodium and potassium citrate, basically to aid in the proper kidney function. And herbal, it contains herbal constituents also. And immunomodulators like vitamin E, selenium are used. Electrolytes basically contains sodium chloride, sodium bicarbonate, calcium gluconate, potassium chloride, sodium citrate, vitamin C, etc. And probiotics, different probiotics adapted particularly specific for the monogastric animals are used, like lactobacillus, pediococcus species, etc. And hematonics like copper, ferric ammonium citrate, cobalt, folic acid, vitamin K, zinc, biotin combinations are used. Growth promoters generally they contain protein hydrolysate with minerals. And organic acids, as I mentioned in the earlier water sanitation part also, like it contains citric acid, acetic acid, propionic acid to reduce water pH. And others like homeopathy drugs, particularly for the pox problems, people try to use these products. And copper sulfate sometimes during toxin time or when the fungal load is more. And water supplement, they are given through the water and continuously during treatment 6 to 8 hours, example antibiotics, and continuously for 24 hours like water acidifier, sanitizer, etc. And given once in the morning or evening, generally like supplements like liver tonic, calcium supplementation, etc. They are given just in the morning water or the evening water. That's all. So these are all some broad guideline I can share. Same way like water supplements, we have feed supplements, vitamins, trace minerals, antioxidants, growth promoters, acidifiers, immunomodulators, enzymes, probiotics, yeast derivatives, toxin binders, liver tonics, amino acids, antibacterials, antioxidants, essential oils, and others. There are so many things here actually. But if you see a formulation, boiler formulation, you will be surprised. All will be there in a formulation. Sometimes people rearing antibiotic-free chicken, they may not use antibacterials, but the combination will be there mostly. In the layers, probably one or two may not be there. Like they may not use antioxidants or essential oils, or a few products may be missing here. But in broilers, one can see almost all are covered. And I want to insist here that there is a common misconception: the broiler is growing quite fast. People are using hormones. This is a myth. There is no hormone used in poultry. I'm making this point very, very clear here. These are all some media or some people having no, I can say without idea they're writing because the bird is growing fast. It's not so. It is because of the advancement in the genetics, advancement in the feed formulation, advancement in the product usages, etc. We have good enzymes available in the market. We have very, very can say well advanced scientific products are there. Due to that only, no hormone is used in the poultry to aid in the growth. So this myth we need to crack it. It's all false rumors created by few people actually. It is no hormone. I won't say I'm telling it's not used in poultry. And a glimpse vitamin premix, it contains all the vitamin in the premix form basically. Broiler we have separate, breeder we have separate, layer like that we have separate. Trace minerals, it may be organic or inorganic. Some people will go for organic for the better absorption or during older ages. So, but it is slightly expensive. Anticoccidials, so you can say that last 20 years plus, there is no new anticoccidial available in the market. So the last one to come to India is, I think, the semduramycin. After that, no, nothing is there. And the world over also, the research is not happening in the anticoccidial front actually. So the inophos like monansin, selamycin, madramycin, narasin are used. Chemicals like DOT, that is dinetolamide, dichlorgestrel, and robenadine are used. And growth promoters like virginiamycin, evilamycin, BMD, lincomycin, entramycins are used. And again, the non-antibiotic growth promoters like mannan oligosaccharide, acidifiers, and probiotics. I talked about antibiotic-free rearing. In this, we instead of antibiotics for the growth promotion, we switch to certain, as we can say, the some of the products like acidifiers, probiotics for the antibiotic-free rearing actually. So these are all approved by the European Union, US FDA, and then only used. Europe now they are totally producing without antibiotics now. The same the case of the US also, they have regulated the antibiotic, I can say that. So they're all, and it is a very, it's just to not only the product, it has a very, I can say different steps are involved in antibiotic pre-rearing. Just I'm touching that point also whenever it's required. And acidifier, it's a, as I told in the water, it's a blend of organic acid like citric acid, butyric acid, propionic acid, and coated butyric acid can be used on sodium diformate. These are all few things. And the enzymes like phytase, today there is no feed formulation without phytase. That's for sure. And it contains xylanase, then cocktail enzyme, cellulase, protease, etc. are used. They give a matrix value, so again reduce the energy or protein. So different enzyme has a different purpose, a different company has a different claims, and nutritionists to know much on this subject. It's a very large topic, I can say that. And toxin binders are continuously used, particularly in the monsoon. We should not miss a feed formulation without toxin matter, but nowadays it's 100% regularly used in the formulation. It contains zeolites or HSCAs, that is hydrated sodium calcium aluminosilicate, and then multiple toxin for binding the multiple toxins, smectides, glucomanons are used. And essential oils like cinnamaldehyde or oregano extracts are used in poultry. Liver tonic, it's maybe herbal or tricholine based. Antibacterials are used like furazolidone, neomycin, lincomycin, tylosin, tiamulin, chlortetracycline, etc. Amino acids, again formulation, we need to balance amino acids basically, especially the limiting amino acids. So these are all used again. Immunomodulators, as I mentioned in water, vitamin E, selenium, and 1316 beta glucans. Emulsifiers are used because some formulation, particularly in the broilers, we use up to 6% of fat, means 60 kg per ton of it. So proper fat absorption, we need to use some emulsifiers like phosphatidylcholine, lysolecithin, and PEGF, and others like antioxidants, where the fat should not get rancid. So we go for antioxidants, and pigments are used. These are all approved pigments. I can say that they are naturally derived xanthines, or this particularly to enrich the yolk color, cyromazine, and this is for the fly control. Insoluble fibers, these are all some of the concepts, and pellet binders are used. So how the decisions are made? Some decisions are fixed, like vitamins, trace minerals, anticoccidial, toxin binders. They are all part of the formulation. Chicken grower, we try to go for immunomodulators. Treatment based on diagnosis again. And the growth promotion, we go for antibiotic growth promoters or other growth promoters. Sometimes seasons influence, like electrolytes are used in summer. Monsoon, invariably toxin binders. And social issues like fly control products, aeromycin is used. Ingredient availability, suppose wheat is available more, we go for more of a xylase in the feed to for the proper digestion of NSPs, and improve feed quality. There are some moisture optimization programs are available, and production concepts like antibiotic free chicken, we go for acidifier, essential oil, and probiotics. And enriched chicken, carotenoids, and other organic selenium are used for that. Even you can see in the supermarket, some people sell omega fatty acid enriched eggs, etc. So for that also, some of the products are used here. So glimpse at feed formula, it contains an energy pot, maize, rice broken, and the soya protein pot contains soya, DGNC, rapeseed, fish meal, etc. And calcium sources like shell grit, limestone powder, etc. And MCP, DCP is used for the phosphorus basically. And oil is used in broiler formulation basically. Sometimes in growers, layer birds, particularly in the growing phase, they use. Amino acids balancing is important, as I mentioned. And salt, vitamin premix, trace mineral, AGP, anticoccidial enzyme, toxin mineral. So all will be there depending on the needs. So this is a just have a glimpse at the formula. So I come to the one by one part, and here the Mahesh sir has asked to touch on the brooding part also. So I club little bit brooding, disease, and medication as an initial course. Then we will go a little one few diseases part and medication. So in my presentation, I'll cover all this. So upon chick arrival, so we need to assume that the chicks are traveling quite long distance. Hatchery may be at one place, and farm will be that it may be traveling 5 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, etc. So upon arrival, it's very important to give an antibiotic for 5 days, and anti-stress products if, definitely need to be given, like ADEC, vitamin A, vitamin D, EC compositions are available in the market, and B complex to aid the growth, and electrolyte also to avoid dehydration. This is a small setup. I will touch the brooding part also. So this is a temperature and relative humidity for the chicks. 0 day we give approximately 95 point. That is depending on the RH actually. We give the temperature of 95 degrees. So the chicks particularly, they are poikilothermic. I can say that they are unable to maintain their body temperature. The two reason is, one is the brain is not developed to that extent. It will take 10 days at least the brain to regulate its body temperature. Secondly, the chicks are not covered with full feathering. So the feathering needs to be then only it can hold the heat. So in the nature, the mother provides a heat, hen gives a heat, but at the same time, in the commercial rearing conditions, we need to give the heat so that the chick will have appropriate uh, body temperature maintained throughout that particular 10 days period, and the feed and water intake will be proper. So this is a general guideline how the daily we need to reduce the temperature from 95 to this one. And this is space requirement. 0.3 SFT is required in 5 to 7 days. These are all general guidelines one can get in any manual. And 8 to 11 days 0.65. In the 15 days onwards, this is for the broilers. It is 1 to 1.1 SFT. And lighting also, first day 24 hours, and say 2 day to culling, it is 23 hours. And for whenever there is an ascites problem and there is a, we notice, we reduce the lighting from 23 to 18 hours for 7 to 10 days. So this is a right brooding arrangement. One can see the left side of the photo. The chicks are good, spread out, and it's free. But if you see the right side of the photo, here the people are going for the cold brooding, basically. You can see the generally once coal level depletes and the heat is insufficient, one can see in the morning hours, particularly 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., one can see that the chicks are piled up here. So this will trigger the infection. Actually, basically, the yolk absorption will not be proper, and it will trigger the onset of any infection during this time. So you can see here some of the photos. Heat is inappropriate. Even though they made the arrangement, they think that everything is fine. But we need to check the temperature at the level of the chick, whether it's correct or not. So you can see the chicks getting piled up. And this is a well distributed arrangement. You can see the chicks are free here. They're not piling, and this should be the good, you can say the good brooding practices. And sometimes if there are holes, gaps in the curtains, so the cool air will pass, and they will also trigger the onset, because any stress will lead to the infections basically. So it's very important. We need to cover the curtain properly, and we can leave the top, but at the same time, the bottom should be for the ventilation purpose. But if there are a lot of holes here and there, directly the chill wind will pass on the inside the shed, and it will create more problems. You can see the cold stress again once again. So again, the moisture control in the litter is important. Whenever there is a problem with leakages and all, it has to be attended immediately, and the wet litter, whatever is there, that portion has to be removed. Otherwise, cocci or other disease onset is likely to happen. So for the ammonia control, we recommend superphosphate potash 1 kg per 10 SFT. For wet litter, 3 kg of lime powder for 10,000 for 1000 SFT. And pipe flushing using bleaching powder also can be tried, or other appropriate products, acid-based products I told. And for the roof, particularly during summer, one can paint the roof 10 kg lime powder with the 2 kg cement with the 25-liter water. This is just a guideline, so that the heat will not go inside the shed during the summertime. So after 8 hours of delivery, one should see the chick arrival. One should say that 80% of the chick we will check the crop, and after 24 hours, about 90%. So the crop score and the feed temperature also we need to check whether the brooding is proper or not. So this is a poor feeding. The chicks have not taken feed, and this is a full feeding. The right side photo, one can see that. So appropriately, we need to correct the management aspects. And some of the common problems we encounter during the arrival is one is unobserved yolk or yolk infection also happen, and this is due to mainly due to the improper brooding arrangements, and it requires antibiotic treatment like neomycin doxycycline is a choice. But I once again I tell you that these are all schedule H drugs, and you need to consult the doctors basically for the appropriate help here. And another is a bacillary white area. This is quite common in LADs. Nowadays, we are not finding much due to a lot of improvement in the management practices. You can see a pasted vent, white area, huddling, lameness, somnolence or sleepiness, and labored breathing and blindness. But this can be treated with appropriate antibiotics like quinolones and furosemide 20% 2 kg per ton for 7 to 10 days. One can go for it. But as I told you, this is a little, the things are very, we are not much noticing. And secondly, when earlier people used to go for a lot of fish meal and other products, nowadays more and more people are going to vegetarian based diets. I can say that in soya based or GNC, like that they are using other protein sources. So these problems are less encountered, I can say that. And another important management step which requires a medication is debeaking, because in the layer chicks particularly debeaking is very very important. Around the 8th or 9th day the people debeak the chicks, and we need to give vitamin K 50 gram per 3000 birds for 7 days, and electrolyte also need to be given. This is because since it's because very important step, we need to arrest the bleeding also. This is one part we need to give the medication. And during vaccination, as I told you, number of times we handle the birds. So every time handling poses a lot of stress on the birds. So it is very important to give anti-stress products like vitamin A, D, E, C. This will relieve the stress. Before the onset of such means we are planning tomorrow vaccination means it is better to start one day before anti-stress product in the water. And vitamin E or beta glucan in feed to boost the immune response, particularly during the vaccination time. And shifting, it's another, for example, particularly in the layers, particularly in the chick grower phase, people have a different chick shed, grower shed, or grower to layer shed. Shifting is quite common. So during this time also, before shifting process to after the shifting, we need to give both electrolyte and anti-stress product in the water. This is another medication is required during this time. And I will come few diseases here. I will touch few because it's a very big topic. I cannot cover everything. The scope of presentation is very limited here. So I will try to restrict to few diseases, how we are approaching that. So I'm not going again, once again, so deep into each and every disease aspects. The most common viral disease is RD. That is a Newcastle disease, or ND we can generally tell. It causes sudden death. This is the first indication. Depression, weakness, lying down, rapid respiration, face swelling, greenish diarrhea, torticollis, paralysis of wings, legs, and arched position. These are all caused by early virulent viruses. Now it's emerging. The disease, even the signs also change depending on the time, because what we saw 20 years back, this currently the we can say the more virulent genotypes are prevalent in India. So the disease pattern also varies accordingly. So this is some of the photos. You can see depression, facial swelling, and greenish diarrhea, and neck twisting. Since the bird suffers from number of respiratory diseases, it's very very important to properly diagnose the problem and approach it actually. So there is ocular discharge as well as lying down position. I can see some of the photos here. And the characteristics in the postmortem is particularly the proventricular hemorrhage, and one can see in the right side of the photo here. You can see the proventricular hemorrhage here. And trachea is congested often during ND. And again, the most pathognomic sign is a pear patches hemorrhage. You can see the pear patch that's totally hemorrhagic. Is one can conclude some extent that it is due to ND problem actually. So how we approach is the prevention. As I told, vaccination plays a very very important role in ND control. And biosecurity like wild bird controls, particularly sparrow, others and all, they spread the ND. And egg tray disinfection is very, very important. I sometimes one farm I visited quite some time back. He was saying that 2 or 3 years he had no problem with the ND. The reason is he has installed a tray cleaning system in his farm. Actually, he has invested nearly 1.5 lakhs and he constructed some tray cleaning area and put some 4 5 workers on the job. So these are all the good investments they make and before the entry of the disease. But once it comes, we can try potassium monopersulfate 1 gram per 5 liter for 5 days. Vitamin E and selenium as a boosting. We can rely only on the supportive aspects rather than the other aspects. Actually, these are all the few choices we can make here to give the some supportive relief to the bird. Actually, and IBD, it's a very, very common disease actually. And here also there's a sudden onset, third to 6 week age, it's very prone. And pick at their own veins is the first symptom. Depression, white watery diarrhea, soiled veins, ruffled feathers, closed eyes, unwillingness to move, trembling and dehydration. These are all few of the signs. You can see the IBD birds here. They just there will be some of huddling also will be seen here when during the onset, and trembling will be there. And see some of these photos here. And here can see the junctional hemorrhage, which is quite characteristic, and we need to differentially diagnose with some of the toxin conditions also, where this is quite common. Another is this muscular, particularly the pedicle hemorrhages, this particularly in the breast muscle and the thigh. And bursts are particularly swollen, sometimes hemorrhagic, sometimes the purulent material. So these are all some of the characteristic signs of IBD. So how to approach again vaccination and biosecurity, again old litter removal, vehicles, persons control is very important. The treatment is same, just like already potassium monopersulfate one can try. We can give iodine based sanitizer in the water. And vitamin E plus selenium again can be used for boosting immunity. Since there will be dehydration, we can go for electrolytes or Jaggery 5 gram per liter as a supportive. And pox, because this is quite common in the country birds, so I'm just touching this also. So what is spreading eruptions, scabs on comb vitals, and again caseous deposit in the mouth and throat, sometimes in trachea when it's in the wet pox condition, depression, inappetence, poor growth, and poor egg production. And the postmortem, we can see papules progressing to vesicles and pustules, and scabs with distribution described above. And less commonly, there may be in the diphtheritic form, that is in the wet pox. You can see caseous plaques in the mouth, pharynx, trachea. Sometimes the bird is unable to breathe, and due to suffocation, it will die actually. So these are all some of the photos. One can see in the top there is a dry pox. That's you can see in the comb wattle region. You can see the pox lesions, and in the wet pox you can see in trachea the caseous material one can see here. So vaccination is an appropriate step, and control of mosquitoes is also the important. One can try homeopathy medicine. I have mentioned in the earlier one slide that homeopathic medicine can try, like Tuja 30 potency 30 ml per 1000 birds, vitamin A, vitamin E, and of course potassium monopersulfate can be sprayed on the birds 5 gram per liter for 125 SFT. So while in the disinfection I mentioned 1 liter should be sprayed in 25 SFT, whereas for on bird spray it is 125 SFT. That is a rule, actually, can say a little thumb rule we can take as a further dosage purpose. And CRD, I come to the bacterial diseases. Viral, I'm touching only 3. And the bacterial disease most common known as CRD. So it's generally known. It is a we can see it's there everywhere. It's in open housing. It's very difficult to eradicate. But any trigger will cause a problem. It will cause a huge economic losses, and particularly it may be a viral problem or stress or ammonia or vaccination. Anything will trigger the mycoplasma actually onset. And younger to older birds are susceptible actually. First, more common in the younger birds. It causes lower daily weight gain, increase FCR, contamination of carcass, and the treatment is very cumbersome, very difficult because it frequently it happens again and again. That's a problem. And it develops slowly, abnormal respiratory sounds. If we go to broiler farmers, they tell, sir, I'm hearing sounds. Please, sounds have started like that, they will tell, indicating that there is an onset of CRD. And nasal discharge, sneezing, coughing, gasping, and open mouth breathing will be there. Reduced feed intake and lower gain, daily gain, and less mortality. So these are all some of the signs in broilers for due to CRD. You can see here some of the, again, the eyes are closed, the bird is quite dull. And one can see a cloudy air sacs and a caseous material in the thoracic air sac or abdominal air sac. One can see that cheesy material in the air sacs. That's a characteristics of the CRD. You can see here cheesy material. Again, the bird will become lean, particularly this is a layer grower. One can see the CRD lesions here. You can see in the caudal air sac, you can see this one. So there are CRD, one is a vaccination can be done, but it's very expensive. It's affordable, I can say, up to the breeder level. But once it comes to the commercials, we have certain programs like in the broiler, one can go for first 3 days with Tylosin, or you can say that other products like Tilmycosin, Tilvalacin can be tried along with the Enrofloxacin. Actually, in the morning water, they give this product, and evening water one product. Only thing is, while using such particularly tiamulin, we should ensure that there is no incompatibility issue. Like, for example, if you are these two products are highly incompatible, tiamulin and ionopos, basically the two, monansin, narasin, and salinomycin, they have the incompatibility issue. So we need to check with the feed supplier at what anticoccidial they are using and appropriately choose the product. Otherwise, we can go for safer products like Tylosin, Tilmycosin, or Tilvalacin. And day 18 and 19, one can go for this program to control the mycoplasma infection. So again, in the feed also, one can go for a Tylosin in the feed 500 gram even to 1 kg level, and along with the chlorotetracycline 15%, 500 gram to 1 kg. But take the advice, because these are all scheduled drugs, please take the advice of the consultants, doctors there. Okay. So just in a nutshell, how we are anti-mycoplasma program, how we are making. So first 3 to 5 days, one can go, and 21 to 22nd day in the broilers. Whereas in case of the, one can go in the feed also during that time, Tylosin or Tilvalacin or Tiamulin. And in the layers at the different stages, like first week, 4th week, 8th week, 12th week, 16th week, because otherwise, it will hit the production actually. Once a bird starts laying around 16, 17 weeks, the onset of lay happens. And during that time, before that, if we keep the flocks clean of mycoplasma, then only we achieve the standard. So this program is also quite important in the commercial layers also. So, okay. And CRD treatments are relatively very expensive. It may go to 3 to 4 rupees per bird also. And one can go for antimycoplasma drugs. I have mentioned some macrolides, fluoromoline groups, and quinolones can be used. And chlorotetracycline or oxytetracycline in the feed along with these drugs will help in the faster recovery. And the next very common disease is E. coli, particularly the colibacillosis. It's present everywhere. Normally in intestine, immunosuppression will trigger, and young chickens it cause cholesepticemia and yolk sac infection. So these are all some of the photos in systemic form. One can see pericarditis, peritonitis, perihepatitis, and air sacculitis. This is a photo. The liver is totally covered with a white slimy layer. And you can see the in chicks also, and the liver is totally covered. And a yolk sac infection due to E. coli. And here the treatment, generally we need to give water sanitizer. Pipeline should be very much clean, and organic acids like citric acid, acetic acid based product we can maintain the pH of 5.5 to 6. And of course, antibiotics can be used like quinolones mainly to control the E. coli. And in the feed, one can go for acidifier, probiotic, or antibacterials. These are all some of the approaches we make for the E. coli. And another very important disease, particularly in the broiler, is necrotic enteritis. Actually, if you recently, this is in the top of the chart, particularly in the US. Reason is in the antibiotic-free rearing, they have stopped using anticoccidials. So the cocci and necrotic enteritis, they are, you can say, the partners. And once the usage of vaccine is there, this is also triggering the necrotic enteritis problem. And any change in, because there's still we do not know the exact reason why the Clostridia, which is quite common in the gut, is taking an upper hand. So far, that is not uncoded, but some say that due to the sudden change in the feed or due to cocci, there are a number of reasons the Clostridia takes an upper hand. And stress factors, age, and it causes sudden mortality. And after outbreak of cocci, this is quite common. And contaminated litter also plays an important role. So here, predisposing factor I have mentioned, removal of AGPs, sudden change of feed, change in feed composition, immunosuppression, inadequate shed cleaning, overcrowding, etc. will trigger the problem. So no symptoms, sudden mortality, orange color dropping is a characteristic, and depression, that is less feed intake, unwillingness to move, reduced growth rate, ruffled feathers, and production drop. So this is one can see that the necrotic enteritis, particularly the intestine, is quite characteristic here. You can see the dead tissue layer. Actually, one can see here. Sometimes even you can see the blood tinged also if it is coupled with cocci. So suitable antibiotic, I can say that mostly the penicillin group like amoxicillin can be tried, and sometimes neomycin is used for the control. And the feed gut-acting antibiotic, particularly like virginiamycin, evilamycin, lincomycin can be tried, and suitable probiotic. I can say that there are few probiotics which are specifically selected for the control of the clostridial problems. This may be Saccharomyces cerevisiae, Bollardi, or some of the Bacillus subtilis strains are available, which has a good effect on the Clostridia. So we need to select properly. Effective cocci control program and slow change of feed. These are some of the suggestions. And coccidiosis, again, this is a very common, particularly in the monsoon time. So you can see the bird anemic, sometimes even in the blood in the feces. And once there is an onset, there is a spike in the mortality. So it may be, we can see particularly coccidiosis caused by that is a Emeria tenella, Emeria nicotics, or Emeria acerulina, number of maxima. There are a number of species are there. Each one produces each disease. Since there is no cross immunity, there will be even at a time there will be two species causing the infection. So it's we need to be very careful in our diagnosis and the approaches also. So one can see here the pinpoint. You can see the hemorrhages here. Sometimes Zika is totally filled with blood, and sometimes you can see that minute pinpoint hemorrhages. And it's always better to rely on the microscope also, because sometimes subclinical coccidiosis need to be diagnosed properly. So this is the case of cecal coccidiosis here. Some of the photos I'm showing here. So these are all again some of the photos. So treatment is started immediately. Generally used in broiler layer because today the rearing is mostly in the cages. So long back, I can say 20 years back and all, till grower phase, people used to rear in deep litter. But nowadays, mostly in cages, the occurrence is quite less. Amprolium with sulfaquinoxacin is a choice, 1 gram per liter continuously for 5 to 7 days. Along with it, vitamin A, 1 lakh IU per ml product, 3 ml per 100 birds. Vitamin K, 1 gram per 5 liters for 5 to 7 days. Coccidial drug and feed like diclaceril 1 ppm or dinitolamide can be tried at 25 ppm. And supportive anticlostridial like BMD, etc. can be tried. So these are all some of the anticoccidial drugs available in the market, like monansin, salamazine, madromycin, ceftriaxone, narasin. Some are ionophores, some are chemicals. It all depends on the nutritionist choice and the appropriate selection. See, for example, monansin, as I mentioned, monansin, salamazine, narasin, we should not use tiamolin basically because it's all highly incompatible. And second is, if you see the choice like madromycin, the dose is 5 ppm. 4 ppm may be less effective, 6 ppm will cause wet litter condition. Same with the case of diclazuril, it's 1 ppm, that means 1 gram per ton of feed. It has to be mixed thoroughly, otherwise the likelihood of problem is there. And others, just we can see the dose, there are combination, and there is a rotation shuttle programs are also available. One can select the program. Again, it all depends on the nutritionist and his understanding about the area actually. And worm infestation, roundworms and tapeworms are common, particularly in the deep litter brooding. Again, sometimes when the fly problems are more, one can see the this one also actually, the case of tapeworm infestation going up with the farm. So generally dewormers are used 9 to 10 weeks before the R2B vaccination in the layer, and levamisole is preferred as it has a immunomodulator property. And you can see the piperazine is quite commonly used for the deworming purpose, 56.3%, that is 40 to 60 ml per 100 birds. And levamisole is having, as I told you, it's having immunomodulator property. This can be tried. And mebendazole, albendazole is used. Ivermectin is, I can say, is very less used. So these are all some of the choices. And the next condition, I come to the metabolic part, nutritional part. Basically, the cage layer fatigue, particularly at the onset of the production, is common once the grower is not fed properly with the proper level of calciums. Actually, once there is an onset, it's just like milk fever in the cattle. This condition happens due to the drop in the calcium level in the blood. So, and again, the other issue related to calcium is shell quality issues, particularly in the old birds, or when the calcium phosphorus ratio is not proper, D3 deficiency. So these issues are likely to happen. And in the particularly in the cage layer fatigue, one can see a depletion in the medullary bones. So the bird becomes lame and starts sitting. So the medication for lameness, cell weakness, etc. during peak production to avoid cage layer fatigue, we can go for calcium, phosphorus, D3 and B12. And top dressing of feeder with limestone or shell grit, one will up to 1 gram, even to the 1.5 gram per bird, they will feed it. Sometimes there will be leftover. They say that is a correct dose. So 1 or 2 should be remain in the that. So the bird generally has a calcium hunger, so it keeps on eating. So to whatever its requirement, it takes a calcium. That's sort of how they. So we have to top dress during this condition to avoid the problem. And D3 supplementation is also important. One need to check the source of the D3, whether it's correctly done in the formula or not, and correction of the feed formula. And the next condition is the gout. This was quite rampant, I can say, in broilers in 2000, early 2000, and in the 2008-9 there was another episode. We all know that it's caused by high protein or calcium phosphorus or some of the mycotoxins like acrotoxin, citrinine, which affects the kidney. But in India, we have found the infectious part also. One is caused by IB, that is infectious bronchitis virus, which is well adapted to kidney. Some of the strains are quite kidney specific. They cause a problem in the early 2000. And later on, we have published an article that astrovirus is a part of an enterovirus also causing the gout. We published an article on this. They say that earlier it is called a white chick syndrome, but now we come to know understand that this astrovirus can cause a problem of the gout. So you can see in the second, third day itself gout appearing the chicks. So this is a few things which I want to share photos. And you can see the urolithiasis, the kidney is full of kidney stones. So how to attempt it? We have to go for electrolytes and Jaggery 15 gram per liter. Vitamin A helps during this condition. Gout care products are available and ammonium chloride 1.5 kg per ton of feed. And another important condition in the poultry, particularly because ours is a tropical climate, particularly you can see that summer there are a lot of heat strokes likely to happen where the temperature goes beyond 40. So you can see that the temperature coupled with the humidity, even higher humidity, low temperature, particularly one can see that at 35 degree centigrade, the humidity is higher. Naturally, the stress level is likely to increase. So these factors need to be considered compared to dry heat. So this causes a sudden mortality in the birds. So one can see the pile up mortality. Generally the breast muscle look to cooked up, and the bird will be a little dehydrated and due to panting, and then it will die. So there are different steps adopted in Indian conditions. Like I have mentioned the dose, etc., for the painting of the roof. This will reduce the temperature by at least 3 degrees inside the shed. One can paint totally. These are all some of the steps. People are covered with a straw surrounded by a gunny, and they can spray water over that so the water remain cool. Even the pipe channels are covered with a gunny bag. You can see that, so that we can spray the water so that even the direct heat will not go to the water and transfer, and this will help to cool the water basically. And the suggested medications are giving electrolytes. One is sodium chloride, I mentioned in the composition earlier, 1 to 2 gram liter continuously in water. 5 lemons and 500 liters whenever electrolytes are now available. If it's a small farm or few birds who are all rearing, can try this. Or gooseberry can be given, amla 500 gram per 1000 liters of water. Ammonium chloride or potassium chloride 0.5 gram per liter for on third and fourth week, particularly in the broilers. 1 gram per liter on from fifth week to avoid the mortality. Vitamin C 10 mg per bird, and curd also can be given as a good supplement. We also take curd during that time. This can 500 ml per 1000 birds. And watermelon to motivate and make the bird drink more water. And the next one is the malabsorption syndrome. It's quite less actually due to infection. It is possible to get this problem, but it's quite, I can say. Just I want to show this. Here in this condition, we can go for protein-based product, or whenever there is a change of feed, or whenever there is the feed is not balanced, the growth is not happening, we can go for proteins-based supplement for the growth promotion. And apart from that, to aid the growth, we have antibiotic growth promoters are there, and acidifiers are there, and essential oils, mannan oligosaccharides. These are all some of the products which helps in the growth of the birds. And the mycotoxins, I just want to touch a few parts in this. High moisture will aid in the growth of the fungus, and particularly the aspergillus species, and they produce different toxins like aflatoxin, T2 toxin, acrotoxin, and production drop, mortality, growth depression, immunosuppression happens because of the toxins. As a normal liver, one can see the fatty liver due to aflatoxin actually, and is an acrotoxin causing a kidney damage in the birds. And again, acrotoxin lesions in kidney. Just want to show some of the photos here. You can see the nephrosis and ulceration due to T2 toxin. T2 toxin is a very caustic toxin, and it goes to the liver, and again it comes out through saliva. So it's very difficult to get rid of T2 toxin. Once a bird comes in contact, it's a very caustic, so it develops ulcers like this. Along with that, it causes enteritis as well as sometimes immunosuppression is quite common with the T2 toxin. And again, T2 toxin causing enteritis, and some of the lesion like gizzard erosion. But one has to differentiate between adeno and other gizzard fish. Spoiled fish also will cause such conditions, actually, gizzard erosion problems. T2 will also cause a problem. And blood spot also, this is a published article, some 4 years back it is published. So blood spot, apart from vitamin A, K deficiency, aflatoxin, T2 toxin can cause blood spot on the in the action. So these are all some of the toxins and that. How to approach is to give a liver tonic and give extra supplementation of methionine. Toxin binders are part of, should be the or must be the part of the formulation, like zeolites, smectite based, HSCase based, and extra vitamins during the time of toxicity. So this is a general medication of the broiler. I'm given outline. Again, I am telling you, I mentioned some antibiotic. Please don't take it. This is only for the reference purpose I'm sharing here. So first 5 days, doxycycline and electrolytes. Fifth day, B1 vaccination. 5-6 days ADEC. 12-13 day again one can go for ADEC program. 19-20 days again. And during pre-starter to starter feed, starter to finisher feed, like that, they can go for protein supplement. 12th day IBD supplement. Liver tonics during the change of feed. Again, Lasota vaccination. Again, liver tonic during the change of feed. Like that, one can design their own program. And every integrator, they have their own program they suggest to the farmers. So I touched the last part. That is, this is a very emerging concept due to awareness, as well as once Europe started implementing the antibiotic-free rearing, and now it's in US and in India. I think there is a segment we are also producing in our some of the area. We are producing antibiotic-free chicken. We are supplying those who are like QFCs, quick food restaurants, and other chains like McDonald's, then this Pizza Hut or KFCs. They are now demanding antibiotic-free chicken only. So we manage. There are different steps in the antibiotic rearing. So don't think that it is only restricted to the product usage. We need to have an appropriate vaccine schedule in the breeders to have a certain optimal immunity situation there. We need to control a proper hatchery hygiene there, and along with that, in the rearing also, we need to focus. In the feed and water, we go for probiotic acidifiers and essential oils. So this is a part. So we are already, some of the companies are, some of the integrators are rearing a part. Some are going off of it. So this is emerging, and a day will come. We also will adapt EU or US. It's not far ahead. I think the days are. We are nearing to the era now, actually. So just I want to share your here. So as I mentioned, you always consult your technical experts. As I there is incompatibility issues are there, like thiamulin, inophos. Higher dose and toxicity like sulfur, chloramphenicol will cause some problems. Low dose and resistance of antibiotics. Withdrawal is very, very important again, and we need to be very careful because of the about the withdrawal period. And confusion in diagnosis. Always there is a respiratory complex, very difficult to diagnose. We are nowadays relying more on lab. We are taking a sample and taking guidelines from the lab. We are doing PCR to get a final diagnosis. Same thing as it is with cystic oviduct. If we don't do the PM properly, once we see the fluid, we will conclude that ascites. But cystic oviduct is due to IB infections. So we need to diagnose properly. These are always we need to take an opinion of the experts. So with this, I conclude my presentation. Thank you for your patient listening, and thank you for the wonderful opportunity given by Mahesh sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Baburaj.
Yes,
You
sir.
can stop the screen sharing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You know, they're very, very happy,
Yes.
or they'll be writing it you back. So once the
Okay.
things are settled in. I give now, I think everybody is saying thank you. That means they're very, very happy. As we see, there are no questions here.
There are few I think.
Some light on, pardon?
Q&A, I think there are a few questions, sir.
Only one that has come right now. If you can read from your end.
Yes, sir. I can see you.
Hello, everyone. No, it's only a hello. There is no.
Here, what is the full form of IBD&D? Somebody asked.
You can.
Yes, sir. I can see here. Yeah, yes, sir. So IBD is in infectious bursal disease. It's a Gumboro. Other name is ND is a Newcastle disease. The other name is Rannicate disease. And sir, what is oral drop? Somebody asked. It is a oral drop is a IBD instead of eye drop vaccination. Oral drop ensures success. So that's a oral drop vaccination, particularly IBD we do it. Sir, water vaccination for breeder bird, it is a very lengthy schedule. You need, we can share it, I can share it privately if it's required. It's a very long schedule, I can say more than 20 programs are there. The costs of vaccination is also high. Alternative anticoccidial is herbal medicine. I don't think any herbal medicine is. Some people tried. I don't suggest all this. Alternative to anticoccidial is vaccination only. Again, vaccination we need to do very properly. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare. I can say that it will fire up this. I think these are all some of the questions are there.
You can type your email ID, doctor.
Yes,
so
sir.
that you can type your email ID.
Yes,
everybody is asking, so that you
yes,
can type.
I'll show, sir. One second. I'll put it in my screen.
That's they can show it. They can make it.
Yeah. So, sorry. Otherwise, I'll make it in my this one chat.
You can just type in the chat box.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it is DRNBRAJ. So Dr. NB Raj at gmail.com. Thank you so much, doctor.
Yes, thank you, sir.
We appreciate you for your time. So, dear participants, we will take a break of 10 minutes. Maybe now around 12:05, 12:15, we will reassemble. Dr. Lipi, I can see she's already joined. She'll come from Delhi to be with you for sharing Government of India schemes and what are the benefits we are extending through Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Fund. Thank you, Baburaj, once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving the opportunity, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Hello, sir. Is my screen available? You can do that time.
Bashaji?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Welcome. Good afternoon.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you're able. How is Delhi?
Delhi is getting worse day by day, sir.
It is a challenging now. It's a
Yeah.
challenge.
Yes.
Anyway, we have learned to live with it now.
Yeah, we have learned actually. So testing is being done in a very aggressive mode now.
Okay, okay. Good. So Mantralaya, everybody is coming, or there are some people who are still.
Everybody is coming, sir.
Okay. So आपको भी खांसी आ गया?
I'm also not well, but luckily I
sorry.
have been tested negative. I also got myself tested.
Oh, sorry for troubling you.
Yeah, so it is due to some, I think,
Okay.
weather changes and normal flu.
Yeah. I think we will start. Bashaji?
Yes,
You're
sir.
ready, no? Yeah. So welcome, Dr. Lipi
Shall I
Sairiwal.
start?
Welcome.
Shall I
Yeah.
start? No, okay,
I'll
fine.
just introduce you.
Yeah, then I start sharing.
Welcome,
Shall we
participants.
check, is it visible or not? Let's check first.
Just test कर दीजिए, no problem.
फुल स्क्रीन करके उसके बाद शेयर करो, पहले फुल स्क्रीन करें.
Yeah, it is visible.
Is it visible?
You can stop screen sharing and then you can try.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. So welcome, participants. It is always pleasure to introduce our colleague, Dr. Lipi Sairiwal. She is our Assistant Commissioner in Government of India. She'll be briefing you on schemes which Government of India is implementing through state governments and through NABARD. And we have come out with a huge plan for Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Fund. So this is the flagship program for Honorable Prime Minister and our ministry. So she will be taking you elaborate steps. So how we can go online and apply. It's a very interesting presentation. Please bear with us and then understand very clearly. This is live in Facebook. You can revert back anytime after the day so that the posting will be available for you to revisit. So with this, all over to Dr. Lipi Sairiwal.
Namaskar and a very good afternoon to all of you. I am Dr. Lipi Sairiwal, Assistant Commissioner, Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairy. So without wasting any time, I shall straight away go to the topic which has been shared to me, which has been given to me. It is poultry development. So I'll start sharing my screen.
Kar dijiye, no problem.
Is it visible, sir?
Yeah, it is visible.
So when we see the poultry sector in India, we see that as per the latest 2019 livestock census, the poultry population is 851.81 million. And this has shown an increase of 16.81%.
Only you can go for full screen, doctor.
Sir?
Full screen kar dijiye.
Okay, sir.
Presentation mode. Yeah. Yeah.
Out of
right.
it, the backyard poultry is 317.07 million, which is a very significant figure. It has shown an increase of 45.79%. And commercial poultry is 534.74 million, which has shown an increase of 4.5%. We have 19 registered breeds of chicken, 2 duck breeds, 1 geese breed, and 1 registered chicken line. This is a brief on the poultry sector. If you see the contribution to egg production and the share of layer population. So roughly 38.7% is contributed by broilers, 29.8% is shared by backyard poultry, and 29.4% is shared by layer. From commercial farms, we get almost 82% of eggs, and from backyard, it is only 18%. Improved fowl, 72%, and desi fowl is 28%. So along the years, for last 10 years, if we see, this is a very wonderful graph. If you see from 2010, the population was, it was 60.3 billions egg production. which has increased to 103.3 millions in 2019. If we see the broiler meat production, in 2011-12, it was 2.48 million tons. In 18-19, it has increased to 4.01 million tons. So if we compare it with the world, we see the egg production, for egg production, we are third in ranking, and for poultry meat production, we are fourth. So these are the figures compared to world, and there are some projections of 2020, we are actually nearing them. The per capita egg availability is increased to 79 eggs per year. If you see back, it was in 1951, it was only 5 eggs per year, and the projections are not far from this. So per capita meat availability has increased to 3.1 kg per year. The growth rate of egg production has increased to 6.07% per year, and for broiler production, it has increased to 7.52% per year. So putting efforts, the government of India is putting many efforts to increase the production in the poultry sector. So with this aim, National Livestock Mission was started in 2014-15 to ensure quantitative and qualitative improvement in the livestock production system and capacity buildings of all stakeholders. We have sub-missions under this scheme, which is livestock development, pig development, feed and fodder, and skill development. As the session is on poultry, I will take only the poultry schemes. So we have poultry schemes under this livestock development. We have a scheme which is entrepreneurship, development and employment generation, for which the implementing agency is NABARD. The main objectives are to enhance employment opportunities in rural areas, how to encourage entrepreneurship in various poultry activities and building the capacity, then how to improve the production of poultry products and productivity of processing units through technology upgradation, and also encouraging introduction of new technologies. We also assist here in encouraging the rearing of other poultry species like quails, ducks and turkeys, which have very good potential. So apart from PVCF, we too have other 3 components in EDEG. This is for small ruminants, rabbits, pig development, then salvaging of male buffalo calves. But again, as the session is for poultry, we will cover only the Poultry Venture Capital Fund. So main beneficiaries who can avail this benefit are farmers, individual entrepreneurs, NGOs, companies, cooperatives, groups of organized and unorganized sector, self-help groups, and joint liability groups. Implementing agencies, as I told, it is NABARD. Government of India provides fund to NABARD for giving the subsidies. We also provide state-wise allocation from here, so that NABARD distributes the fund as per our allocation to all the states. So these are the objectives of PVCF. Then as per the National Action Plan, Poultry 2022, this program was to encourage poultry entrepreneurship in rural, educated and unemployment youth. The model was introduced under innovative project for productivity enhancement. Under this component, we have two parts. One is we provide assistance for low input technology birds and also assistance for broiler. So LIT, that is low input technology birds, which are also the improved birds, desi birds, which can survive by scavenging and minimal hand feeding and requires fewer inputs. Basically, they are grown on your backyard. This will not only provide the entrepreneurship, it will also provide the nutrition to the family. And if we see the economics behind it, so what was our aim was to provide the entrepreneurship to the poor people also. So farmer can earn annually on around rupees 160 from each bird. So what is the area of coverage which we focused was we provide fund for 2 blocks in 2 districts every year. And this is basically done in a cluster approach. So what is given to those beneficiaries? When we give the LIT birds, we give 400 birds over a period of 1.5 years, like in 18 months. So 200 birds in first 18 months and the 200 birds in another part of the 18 months. The second batch will be given after the 1.5 year. So what all inputs government give under this scheme is, we give 4-week-old 400 LIT birds, and these birds are basically dual purpose, egg and meat. Then we give funds for night shelter and other items like feeder, drinker. We also provide technical training on rearing of birds and hand holding. We also provide mother units for raising day-old chicks up to the marketable age of 4 weeks. So these mother units are established at state poultry establishments with the central assistance of 16%, and we provide 60,000 for one mother unit. The pattern of sharing of fund assistance is 60:40, 60:40. 60% is given by central government, and the same matching share of 40% is given by state government, except for the hilly and northeastern states, where the pattern of assistance is 90:10, and 100% is for all the UTs. This is another component that was IEEE for LIT birds, that is low input technology birds, and this is for IEEE for broiler. In this component also, 2 blocks in 2 districts are covered. So here there are 400 birds were given, here 600 broiler birds are given. 600 broiler birds at the rate of 150 birds in one batch, and the second batch is given after 3 months. Thus, we give 4 batches of 150 birds over a period of 12 months. So these are the equipments. We give birds in 4 batches, 150 birds in one batch. Then we give assistance for shed, equipment, feed for 6 weeks, miscellaneous items like litter, medicine.
Madam, your video is stopped.
बासु जी,
उधर ही कुछ डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया. She got disconnected from her side.
Okay. She'll try to.
Something network issue maybe there.
We'll wait. There is some network issue. She'll be right back within another 2 minutes. Basically, she was briefing about IEEE, wherein Government of India gives schemes through the state government and the beneficiaries. So meanwhile, if somebody was asking a question, I think I read the questions right. I will just reply the questions if they're there. 1 second. Sir, what are the legal procedure to establish a breeder farm? So breeder farm, there is no as such, legal procedure required for any establishment of a poultry farm. Only thing required is you have to go to a panchayat to make notify that you are doing such an activity. It's called registration. Recently now, pollution control board and other things, some states are looking out for registration. So you need to register with the registration authority, whatsoever there in your state. So other than that, there is nothing specific as a legal requirement so far as a poultry breeder farm or a layer farm or a broiler farm is considered, because we consider poultry as agriculture. So that is the background where we want to say that poultry is considered as agriculture. So that is the question I can see here. A few of you can raise questions if you have, so that I can reply. Meanwhile, she will join us. And tomorrow we have lined up a huge group of entrepreneurs. They'll be coming up to brief you on everything, so that you will understand better. So we are, as a faculty, may teach on the principles. They will give you a brief on every issues, which you can see that, like, tomorrow you will find a broiler farmer, tomorrow you find a layer farmer, breeder farmer, and we will find one retailer. You will have one big group, prime chicken coming, and all that you can see. And then the inauguration is by Sean Kadiwell, who is the CEO and a wonderful entrepreneur to get inspired. So they are trying to become first billionaires in the sense valuation. So $1 billion is something like 7,000 crore. So that company just started in 2015, is aspiring to go to a billionaire segment. So this is the opportunity in the sectors where you can really get. So that's how it can be done. So can we get a sample project report for loan application? See, basically, sample project report will be available in your NABARD website, but they are all very dynamic. So it is not very, very specific that, you can have a same project report application to be done for projects. So my request is you can get the project report done at your city by the chartered accountant or by any of the poultry companies. It's hardly a matter of 10 minutes. They will give you a certificate. Sorry, they'll give you a project report by the software. So any other points? Meanwhile, Bashaji,
do we have mother units in Karnataka? That is one question, sir. Somebody has posted.
You have mother units.
Units in Karnataka.
Mother units in Karnataka are many, plenty. This is coordinated through Karnataka Poultry Cooperative Federation. So there is one body called Karnataka Cooperative Poultry Federation. There will be MD and they have societies across the state. So you can approach them. They will also take you for establishing mother units. Any other question, Bashaji?
I think that's it, sir.
So meanwhile, I think you can go off video and talk to her. I will get engaged, the audience. So what I would suggest to the audience is, since this is the third awareness program, please, sir, please repeat the regeneration process. I'm not getting Chikkaramu. What do you want? Regeneration, I could not understand. Can you retype it? What is that regeneration process? So what I would suggest is, sir, registration process. So now registration process is not happening right now. What I said is, if at all, if it comes, right now registration is not there. So right now you have to just go to Panchayat. There is a form 5. It is known as Dundavane in Kannada. It is nothing but you are telling that I am having such and such a survey number. In this survey number, we are doing an activity called poultry. If you are doing dairy, they'll give you, it is something like NOC for your power connection. For your power connection, they'll be giving NOC. That is no objection certificate. That's it. Otherwise, there is nothing specific registration as far as the poultry is concerned. So my other point for the entrepreneurs is, we would like to tell you that since this is the program of almost we are continuing to do this awareness week for the past 3 months. So probably we will take a break in December. We will come out with another format in the month of January. So overall, our observation has been that majority of the people are very much interested to take up poultry as an entrepreneurship. The reason why I quote this poultry as a good entrepreneurship is it's a DRM. I always call it as, if you have some 25 chicken, tomorrow you'll have 20 eggs in your house. So we call it as DRM, in the sense daily revenue model. So daily revenue model is the one which is very good. Please give mobile number of mother unit in Chitradurga. Please approach a deputy director, animal husbandry, Chitradurga, and then ask them with the issues of animal husbandry department. They will be giving you the number KCPF. And then what are the other questions? I started with 50 country chicken chicks from farmhouse. 10,000 square foot open area with the shed. Registration required. Rajeshwariji, not required. So that there is no requirement of registration for such small units. So you need not have to worry for those things. So I was repeating, what I said in the beginning. See, poultry as a whole, as you see that, we can see it has taken a tremendous growth. So I will repeat you tomorrow when I come to on Friday. So to give you business ideas, we now want to say for the entrepreneurs that if you are thinking of a value game, you should become a small player. So large players are doing a volume game. A small players can do a value game. So most of you who come as a beginner, so you can start small. You can aspire to become a big. Tomorrow you'll be seeing Mr. Mahesha. So who will be giving you on a large scale retail format. But he started as a very small entrepreneur. So he was not a big entrepreneur, but now he is going big. So if you see even the Venkateshwara group, late we call it as father of Indian poultry, B.V. Rao, he was actually a farm manager in a farm in Arbor Acres in Pune. So today we are telling that it is almost 15,000 crore turnover company. That means 10% of the entire GDP which we produce, they're taking it up. Similarly, Sugna, the entrepreneurs are very, very, very huge. We started just with 5,000 birds. They are now today at 9,000 birds. So somebody is asking, is there any requirement of a poultry training certificate to start a poultry farm? Definitely not. I would watch with my experience of last 3 decades, almost maybe around, I would say 95% of people have never been trained like this institute. So we are a platform to give you information which has already happened. So most of the people really don't attend any trainings, they start. It is like learning a swimming. So learning a swimming in the sense, you wait outside, you'll not be able to learn swimming. So poultry is like that. Please don't go on going for trainings and you will be ending never anywhere. So start jumping into the water. So don't worry about training certificates. I've seen many of the participants who are coming for central government training, passing on to state government training like that. So don't do that. I think I can see Lipi back with this thing. I will allow her to continue.
Sorry, sir.
Stop the arrangement. Back
Yeah.
to Lipi. Okay, thank you. Bye. You can continue.
Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah.
You can.
So I was telling about IPPP broiler. This was innovative poultry productivity project, which was launched under National Action Plan for Poultry, which was framed till 2022. And here I was talking about that for IPPP broiler, we give 600 birds in a ratio in the batches of 150 birds per 3 months. So again, here the feed, shed equipment, feed, miscellaneous items like litter, medicines, and the technical training which is being given by state government and our institutes, which are CPDOs. The pattern of fund assistance is here also, it is 60-40 for all the states and 90-10 for northeastern states and hilly states and 100% for all the UTs. So now who all are the eligible beneficiaries and what is the implementing agency? I will tell all interested farmers or individuals, they may go to their block development officer, their block animal husbandry officers, their their district headquarters for the details of this program, where the selection is made as per the criteria which is set by state administrations. So what state does, state will collect all the proposals from all the farmers, individuals, and they will compile it and they will send it further to central government, where we here division wise we apprise those proposals if they are as per the guidelines or not, and then the finance releases the funds to the state government, and from there the state distributes it to the people. So the eligible beneficiaries, the preference, as it's a Government of India project, proposed Government of India scheme. So especially the preference is given to scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, people who are from BPL, then women beneficiaries, beneficiary groups which are self-help groups, FPS, FPOs, cooperatives. So as I was talking about ED, EG, PVCF, I skipped it there because recently there has been a major change in this. In 2020 October, we have changed the guidelines. See, if we look to the poultry sector of India, we have 80% sector is already organized. It doesn't need much of improvement. They are self-sufficient, but 20% is the unorganized sector, which is mainly comprised of the backyard. So Government of India thought to work on that 20% to bring it up to the surface, and therefore the guidelines of PVCF, earlier we had 13 to 14 activities under it. We changed the activities of PVCF recently, and now we have only 3 activities under it. So basically we are providing 3 funds under 3, that is poultry parent stock, where 1,000 birds are reared and which will produce 500 hatching egg per day. So it is the breakup where we give the construction funds for construction of shed of 3,000. Then electric brooders are given, chick feeders, drinkers, adult feeders. So this is one component. The other component is we provide fund for mother units. So mother units, this will brood 2,000 chicks up to 4 weeks, and then when these chicks are ready, specifically they are given to all under all the schemes like RBPD. So here we give funds again for construction of shed, brooder, feeder, drinker. Then third one is for hatchery, which will hatch 3,000 eggs per week, and out of it 2 to 50 day-old chicks will be produced. Here also for construction of hatchery building, for incubator of 15,000 eggs, then hatcher which has a capacity for 500 eggs, and a set, generator set. So this is a very recently launched guideline which was launched last month only. Then again, we also provide funds for modernization and development of breeding infrastructure, under which our CPDOs, that is Central Poultry Development Organizations, and CPPTC, they are strengthened and modernized with all the latest technologies which will improve the production of poultry. Then all the state and university farms. Now, this is one of the scheme which was launched in 2020, and it comes under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So Animal Husbandry Infrastructure Development Fund, which is a central sector scheme under the Prime Minister's Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan stimulus package, which has a budget allocation of 15,000 crore. And this will incentivize investments by individual entrepreneurs, private companies, MSME, FPOs, and Section 8 companies to establish dairy processing and value addition infrastructure, meat processing and value addition infrastructure, and animal feed plant. I want to focus here that this is first ever scheme by Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying for private sector, and especially for infrastructure assistance. So here eligible entities are all the individual entrepreneurs, FPOs, MSME, Section 8 companies, and private companies can apply for loan under this scheme. and it will incentivize dairy processing, meat and meat product, establishment of feed manufacturing unit. So this is related to dairy. I will not take this. This is for meat. So poultry meat, for poultry meat, you can avail the establishment of new meat processing units and their existing meat processing facilities. Then value-added product manufacturing and animal feed plant. For animal feed plant, anybody can take assistance for establishment of feed manufacturing units, strengthening of existing units under these categories. See, there's establishment of mini, medium, and large feed plant, total mixed ration block making unit, bypass protein unit, mineral mixture plant, enriched silage making plant, and animal feed testing laboratory. So now what do you get in this? So it's a very important thing. So now loan up to 90% of the estimated or the total actual project cost from scheduled bank based on submission of viable projects by eligible beneficiaries. There is no cap for this. There is no higher or lower limit. The most important feature of this scheme is Government of India is providing 3% interest subvention for all the eligible entities. Also, Government of India is providing credit guarantee fund, which is of rupees 750 crore, and this is to be managed by NABARD. So credit guarantee will be provided only for those projects which are covered under MSME defined ceilings, and the guarantee of up to 25% of credit facility is available to borrower. So maximum repayment period for this is 8 years, which will also include moratorium of 2 years on the principal amount. Now, how do you apply for this? It's a very simple process. This is completely online and it has been developed by SIDBI. A portal has been developed. If you can note it down. It is hidaf.udyamimitra.in. It is, if I can show you that. Let me complete this first. I'll show you how do you apply and how do you go to the portal. So eligible entity will apply on the loan application on the program portal. In that portal, you have everything. You have the list of lenders, like from which bank you want to avail, all the documents which you need to upload with the application. See, the process will be then lender. Once you apply there on the portal, lender will pick the LAF from the and download the same. Then that lender is the bank. They will examine the project submitted by the applicant, and then if they sanction it, they'll sanction it, and then further they send it to Department of Animal Husbandry to us, where the ministry will approve interest subvention on the sanction letter provided by the banks. And once the interest subvention is sanctioned, then only the loan is given under AHIDF to the applicant. See, this is the portal. So here, very easy thing, you will put your mobile number, an OTP will be granted. It will take you to the main page where it is how to apply. There is a form given there, all the documents which you have to upload there. So I think I'm done with it. And in the main important part, when we do the SWOT analysis of poultry sector, the strengths for this is, it is the low cost protein, which is very easily available in our country. It has a good growth rate. The CAGR coming around to be 5% for eggs and 7% for poultry. Rising economy and growing emphasis on poultry products. And the livestock contributes, which is 20% to the rural household monthly income. Poultry alone can contribute nearly half of the same, coping up with the captive production of soybean and maize. And weaknesses, it does have some weaknesses. We have lack of it due to the lack of infrastructure facilities for value addition processing plants, warehousing, cold storages, then high maize and soya prices, small farms, some of the diseases, threats, avian influenza and other re-emerging and emerging diseases, opportunities are, we do have some very good opportunities that 95% of this raw or wet market can be transformed easily. We are also working on the alternate breeds and LIT birds for upgrading the family poultry businesses. So this is, or we have untapped potential for the export and value-added chicken products. Thank you very much. I hope I could explain you. So these are two websites where you can always look for the guidelines and important points about the schemes which I have already mentioned. It is www.daht.nic.in. This is Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying's main website. For AHIDF, it is www.ahidf.udyamimitra.in. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you so much. You can stop the screen sharing.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much. In spite of your discomfort, you managed well. And,
sir, I am sorry for getting
it's
disconnected.
okay. It's great appreciation. Any specific questions, Bashaji? Because in my system, I'm not able to read. Dr. Lipi, can you read some questions with you, or any questions are there? Bashaji?
It is related to CPDO, sir. They are asking whether the duck varieties and chicken varieties are available now at CPDO for sale.
We will give you. Please write to us. It is cpdo&ti@gmail.com. Since we started just in September, probably the waiting period is minimum 3 to 4 months. We only give day-old ducklings, day-old turkey, and day-old chicken. So these are the ones which we are giving. Our products are Asil and Kaveri, White Pekin and Khaki Campbell, and large-breasted bronze and large-breasted white are the varieties of turkeys. Thank you so much, Dr. Lipi.
Thank you,
so that
sir.
we will take care and stay safe. Thank you. Right.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Thank you. Bashaji?
Shall we conclude for today, sir?
Yeah, you can just any questions, or we will conclude.
But was there that whether we get a letter of intent for application. Somebody was
asking. That's a good question. See, please understand, letter of intent is for the bank. The bank want to understand where is your inputs. That means, where are you getting the inputs from? Suppose, you say that I'm procuring chicks from here, I'm procuring feed from here, like that. But in contract system, entire responsibility of operational expenditure is company. So company will say, let's say I'm Vijay Bank or State Bank of India, I want to get an assurance from the supplier that we are partnering with it. So letter of intent means I am doing business with you. So the simple letter is given from the company only. Suppose if you are doing own, that will explain on Friday, you have to get a letter of chick supply, where from you are getting the chicks for the farm, where from you are getting the feed from the farm. Suppose if you are doing own feeding, you have to say that I am producing own. So it will be a part of the project report. So need not have to worry for letter of intent if you are doing own. Only one they may ask, where from you will procure chicks. Any other question, Basaji?
No, sir, that's all. That's it.
Thank you very much. Today we'll leave you early so that you can get prepared for the tomorrow's marathon. So we will start from 10:30 sharp. So tomorrow will be sharp 10:30. Probably we'll go live by 10:15 itself, because there will be some 7 speakers who need to be accommodated. So all 7 speakers would take 30 minutes. Maybe the opening, Sean, he will join from Dubai. So he will only take 15 minutes. All others from joining from different cities. So be punctual tomorrow. Thank you all participants for your time and patience to join with us. Anyway, the recordings will be available in our Facebook. So you can go back and watch them. And my team is preparing for a YouTube launch also. Probably you can watch and see that we will launch a YouTube on Friday. So we are planning to go with YouTube also. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. So Bashaji, you can conclude.
Thank you, sir. So at the outset, we thank our panelists. Firstly, Dr. Baburaj, who gave a very good presentation on diseases. Then Dr. Lipi Sairiwal, madam, from Delhi. So we thank once again these panelists, and we thank all the participants for being patient and listening to us. And we'll try to meet tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.